Today on the Tim Marner podcast show, I've got Craig Henderson, the Neurodivergent Barber. Sounds good, that, mate, doesn't it?
It does.
So talk to me about it then, mate. When did you first become a barber?
Oh, God. I've been doing it now 24 years.
Right.
So I started off in hairdressing. So I did ladies first. Then I fell out of love with hairdressing.
Don't all the best barbers come from hairdressing first?
Yeah, because we understand the concept of hair.
Right.
So it naturally progressed into barbering because I fell out of hairdressing. I don't know why I fell out. It just happened one day. I just thought, I'm not doing it anymore. And just started doing men's. And then I really enjoyed it. And then it was like, Craig will do the naughty kids. Because I had the patience with them, so I'm so chilled out and relaxed. Like, put the kids in with Craig. And then my son got diagnosed with autism. And he helped me understand it a lot more. I thought, all right, this is good. And then my daughter got diagnosed. And they're both polar opposites. One sensory seeks and one sensory avoids.
Talk to me about that, mate. What does that mean? Because
So a sensory seeker will need sensory stuff. So like loud music, cuddles, like wetness, or like from the shower, they love the shower, but she hates the shower because it's too much sensory. So it's understanding each one. But my son, you can't touch him. You can't physically touch him. So if he's ill, you want to give him a cuddle and make him feel happy. You can't, because he hates physical touch.
Right.
Like clothes will irritate him, like certain clothes will irritate him. He hates socks. First thing he does as soon as he gets home, he takes his shoes and socks off his school uniform because he hates it. So it's a difficult one because they're all so different. And that he's sensory with his hair. He hates the way it feels when he gets his hair cut. But my daughter hates it as well because it's an unpredictable sense. It's not a constant sense. Like being squishy cuddle or a weighted blanket. So it's so difficult to balance it all. But they've helped me improve this. But most of it started in a nursery in Bolton, where they're all SEND kids. And they didn't tell me they were SEND kids. I turned up and went, right, just to let you know, most of them are autistic and non-verbal autistic. You can go home now if you want. I went, why? Well, most barbers who come and won't touch it because they're terrified of it. And the unpredictability of them. Especially with kids, when the fight and flight kicks in, because they'll bite you, they'll nip you, they'll kick you. They'll do anything to get out of that situation. So I said, right, go and get the caretaker. I went, what do you mean? Go and get your caretaker. So I got the caretaker, sat him down, said, right, started cutting his hair, started spraying the water spray at the kids, making noise on the combs, just, get him used to what's going to happen. And then I did him, and then the first kid got on, sat in the chair and got his hair cut. And they were like, what the hell's just happened? And he still comes to me now. It's hilarious. It's just mad, because he had hair all the way down his back, and he never had his hair cut because he couldn't get him into a barbershop or anything. And I've turned up and cut his hair and cut all his hair to a two back inside. Because that's the picture they sent. They said, it's not going to happen. That's what his mum said. And I did it. And then all the rest of them followed suit. There were a few kicked off because they had high sensory needs. But we've worked on them over the time. And it's got better. And now I go into schools, like SEND division schools. I go into play centres. I do it all over, like pretty much the Northwest now. Like giving these education sessions, like desensitisation sessions to help people while doing it in the shop as well. So it's like a 7 days a week job now. It's not just generic 5 days.
No qualifications, mate, on this. This is total experience.
It's just experience, because that's all it can be. But I've developed a workshop now to help give this education to other barbers and other hairdressers. Because there is a few doing it, but not like me. Because they'll separate them from the shop. But anyone knows who's autistic, like routine. You get them to that comfortable place of getting the haircut in that special room, what you call a sensory room, and you take them out, put them into a salon, they're going to kick off because you've just completely shifted their dynamic. What's going to happen? New smells, new lighting, new everything, new chair feel, new everything. They're not going to enjoy it. So you've just made a rod for your own back, as horrible as it sounds, you have, because you've got to get them used to a salon environment, because that's the way I do it. Because they're in the salon, they might not sit in the chair, but eventually we get them into the chair. And then they're used to a barbershop. So when they get to like our age and they go off to uni or whatever, they can regulate through the emotion of it because they know what's going to happen and they know what smells they're going to walk into or what noises they're going to hear. Because I've got another barbering shop now, and that was a big step for me, because these kids are going to start hearing clippers all the time and hair dryers going off and smell different waxes being used while I'm cutting their hair. So I'm like, this is going to go one way or the other. I'm going to have to get rid of him or ride it out. And I've rode it out. And it's amazing because he engages with the kids as well when he comes into a social space, because they've no spatial awareness. So they'll walk up to him, nudge into him, and all the rest of it, look at his stuff. And he's not bothered. and he plays into them, he says hi to them and acknowledges them and stuff like that, and that's what's great because it teaches them social interaction now as well, so I'm adding another string to my bow now. So I'm getting them used to society. Like the older ones who come, like the teenagers and the adults, most of them are on a shaved head for their whole life because they can't deal with the sensory aspect. And I've gotten to a point now where they're in trendy haircuts because I'm introducing the wax and letting them smell it instead of throwing it on. I'm going, oh right, I like the smell of that. And then style the hair away from the mirror, spin the chair around, style the hair, and show them afterwards like, oh, I like that, I like how it feels. Before it's like, well, I'm just going to shove this wax on your hair and give you 2 back inside and off you go. And they go home and go, I don't like it. Because it's not been a pleasurable sensory experience. Because they've regulated that far through all adulthood and understood how to get to that point. But I've took a new dynamic now and given them a new approach of being accepted into society. Because that's what they want. They know they've got a disability and they get judged for it. And unfortunately now in media with celebrities, yeah, it's great they're raising awareness and I love it. But it's used as a scapegoat with some celebrities. And we've seen it all in the media because of the traits they have. Like the black and white behaviour of like, oh, it's an excuse, I can just say whatever I want and do whatever I want. I'm having a flipping out in a shop because I'm having a sensory overload because I'm potentially autistic or I am autistic. So it's a really difficult one to keep in a positive light. And I'm potentially ADHD because I'm constantly on the go. And I drink copious amounts of black coffee and never stop. I'm always running around 100 miles an hour, I've got 400 things going on, but I still function. But my diagnosis is not important. My kids with diagnosis are important, that's what they've got now. And my missus thinks she's autistic. So she's important. I put myself last because I'm helping everybody else. And once all that settles down and then Scott gets more comfortable in the shop, I go, right, I'm going to take a week off and think about myself, like do my own diagnosis, have a holiday. I've not had a holiday for 7 years because I've been trying to get this shop off the ground because it had a bad press when I first started because it was just a hack and burn barbers. And he never did kids. And I turn up, give these trendy haircuts because I like worked in a hair salon and do these amazing haircuts. I'm like, what have you done to me? I said, I've just cut your hair. I've not done anything special. I've actually just laid it and done what hair's meant to be and how it's meant to fall. It's just crazy.
That's incredible, that, Craig.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It is when you look back at it all and like where I've been and
that shop then that you got, where is it?
Tom Moore Road.
Tom Moore Road, yeah. How long have you had that for?
I've had this one for 2 years.
Yeah.
The one before I had for 5.
Right.
And it was called Craig's Barbershop before I took it on.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just a whim. It was no intention of getting a business. It just happened. And the feel I got from it every time, all the customers have said after Craig retired, like, oh, he's a bit grumpy, he's not really approachable, he just cuts me hair.
Right.
And then I turned up full of life, used to doing full in-depth consultations and working in a hair salon, unisex hair salon, cutting the hair with nice layers and it flows, just a basic short back inside so you can actually style your hair instead of it just going when you put your wax on and you're just trying to sit there trying to sort it out and you can't do anything. It's just a haircut of convenience, it's not a haircut of style. And I've just flipped it on its head. And then 3 years later, it's got busier and busier, and then I won awards, and it just went to a whole new level. And I've always said it, I've always had my wings clipped, and I've unclipped them now because I'm showing you who I am and what I can offer you. Yeah, I've always been good and creative at cutting hair when I worked in Bolton Town Centre.
Where did that flip change where you became the neurodivergent barber? When was
that? Just happened, because I went to the Creative Head Awards, and I was walking around all these big massive industry people I've looked up to my entire career going, you're that neurodivergent barber, aren't you? Because they've seen me on socials. I'm like, yeah, I am. And everyone addressed me the same way. So I thought, right, I got on and went, right, I'm making this into a brand because it needs to be a brand. And then I changed it into a brand and it's got even more exposure now. It's ridiculous. It's like crazy how many other hair professionals reach out for help and know me as this now. I went to another award. It's like, oh, you're right, Craig. You know, like people who have like I was seen as a kid, like watched as a teenager when I was training and watching them on stage and they're talking to me and we're sharing phone numbers and we're ringing each other. I'm like, this is mind blowing. Like my first award, I was sat next to one of my big industry idols, and she was sat next to me there, and another one on the other side. I'm like, this is not right. This. I'm just talking to me. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like talking to the Queen's hairdresser at the bar, and I'm like, what's going on? And then I won that Creative Head one, that were even bigger because it's one of the biggest industry awards, and I won Best Local Salon. I'm like, like a generic barbershop name, and all I'm doing is cutting hair, and that's all I saw it as. I'm like, wow. And then I won the NHS one that year as well. I won Community Hero with the NHS for all the work I do in the schools, and that blew my mind. Speaking to the Chief Commissioner of the NHS, and we need to get this in all the welcome packs for kids who get diagnosed, to know you're a point of contact for help. I'm like, okay. And then my kids got diagnosed, and it was hilarious because I walked through this medical centre, like, it's Craig, what are you doing here? You got a meeting? I went, no, my kid's getting diagnosed. And I'm like, all right. And then got the welcome, she showed me the welcome pack, the paediatrician went, well, if you need a hairdresser, we've got this guy, he's highly recommended him. I'm sat there with this hoodie on. They're like, it's you, innit? I went, yeah. It was just so surreal.
Wow, mate.
It's so surreal, and it's mad at where it's going to now. It's like I'm doing talks at the biggest Sen show in the country this October. I'm cutting her in the biggest Salon International show this year. I'm cutting her on stage and doing a talk at the same time on 2 days. And it's just frightening where it's getting to. And then how far will it go?
How far can it go, Craig? What is that sort of like outlook for you? What's that vision for you?
Probably global education.
Beautiful.
And it's getting there.
Yeah.
I got approached by an accent app who have just launched in Dubai, and they're massive in Dubai. And the nursery owner recommended me to them because they do a speech and language thing in the app. So they bring me up and say, we need a hair professional on our app.
Yeah.
And we've got massive connections with Dubai. Would you be interested? I'm like, yeah. Okay. And I had a meeting with them last week. That goes live in about 3 weeks. So I'm just creating content for them at the minute as well.
Amazing, Craig.
It's
You're like proper in your power here, mate.
It's frightening. Knowing that all I used to see it as cutting hair. That's all it is. Yeah. And I'm just adapting to people's needs. That's all it is. But it's more than that for these families. Some of these kids have never had a haircut, and they turn up and see me. The craziest one was about a year ago when I had a family fly down from Inverness because they saw one of my TikToks. They said, we're just going to come down on holiday. We come down to holiday from staying in Manchester, but thought we'd just give you a chance. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's nothing lost, nothing gained. And I cut his hair within 45 minutes. Like the first 15 minutes were a nightmare. He was just screaming out, lashing out, full fear response kicked in, nipping me, punching me, everything. Which is understandable when you've got a stranger coming towards you with a sharp object. And you teach your child, don't talk to strangers and don't play with scissors. Yeah. So it's black and white for them.
Yeah.
So I've got to undo all their good parenting and put it back together in a controlled way.
How do you do that within such a short amount of time, Craig?
Well, it usually takes about 8 to 10 haircuts on average.
Does it?
Yeah. But I'm that laid back. They feed off my energy. So I'm so chilled, I'm not stressed. I don't get stressed about anything. Like the house could burn down and I won't be asked. It's like, oh, there's always tomorrow.
They can just feel that energy on you.
Yeah, because I'm so chilled. I'm just
that frequency you're putting out.
Yeah, because I'm just super relaxed. I don't worry about anything. And I think that's what helps, being so chilled and having the understanding from home as well, of like, what predictability is going to happen next. Are they going to bite me? Or are they going to just look at me and scream at me because they're scared? And I'll just go, right, well, let's give them 15 minutes just to relax and come to terms with what's happening. And if I get one piece off on the first visit, I say to all parents, when you get one piece off, we've achieved massive amounts because I've created a whole new sensory dynamic.
Just one piece?
Just one piece. Because I've changed the perception of what scissors are for them and what a stranger can do. Because once you become a constant in their life, they'll trust you for the rest of their life. Because this is why when they go to school settings, they need a one-on-one. So they need a constant one-on-one. That's why they follow them all the way through the school year. And this is why if you take them to the doctors and they have a different doctor, they kick off. Right. Because it's not the same person. They see that doctor as my medical care. If I get a different doctor, it's like, who are you? Right. You're a stranger. Yeah. You're not a doctor. Why are you treating me? The same with optometrists, dentists, everything. And this is why we have these specialist people, like specialist dentists and things like that. Don't have specialist doctors. We have paediatricians, but that can change like the clappers because of funding. But if I can become a constant for cutting their hair, they'll go, all right, well, Craig's for my haircuts. Like Sheldon, like Sheldon Cooper, haircut records, that type of thing. It's like, oh, he knows my hair. Any barber could do what I do, it's only basic haircut, but I'm the person who does it because I'm his constant for that specific thing in his life. Same with anyone with a disability because they just want that constant people who, instead of being passed from pillar to post, Because we all see kids who are agitated who've been in for surgery and all the rest of all the things they go through when they're struggling, and they get really frustrated and annoyed. But if they have the same person throughout, they'd be a lot calmer because they can trust that person and they know what's going to happen.
And they feel safe.
They feel safe. That's how they want, to be that safe person for you.
Blow my mind, that, mate.
It blows a lot of people's mind.
Blow my mind.
Yeah, when I explain it to a lot of people, when I do a lot of podcasts and stuff, they're blown away by it because no one can explain it like I do.
Yeah.
It's just really mad.
The kids that are coming down to you, is every single one different, or is there a certain process that you need to do? How do you know that they need to smell the wax first, or they need to do the comb first, or they need to do? Can you just feel that? It's
usually I can gauge it from how they react with me.
It's amazing, mate. I feel like it's some sort of, I don't know.
Superpower.
Yeah, it is. Just like you're reading frequency with energy.
Yeah, pretty much what it is.
Aren't you?
Yeah, because they're all going to kick off anyway, because you're bringing them to a new environment.
So I know, like, obviously you say you're spiritual, but like this is like energy sort of healing that you're doing.
Yeah.
Per se.
Yeah, kind of in a fashion, yeah. So if we cut one piece off, I can understand if it's sensory. If they freak out because I've had incense on in the shop, when they come in first thing in the morning, it's like, oh, why are they freaking out? Oh, that's probably that, because it's sensory element, because of the incense. Right. The smell side of it, all right, okay.
So the smell of incense
anything,
can just...
my aftershave can set them off. It sets my kids off. They tell me I stink.
So you've just got to be mindful of everything?
Everything, but I'm not. Because they've got to get used to society and be in society, because that's what we want, and that's what they want. They can't walk down the street and kick off about every different smell in the street. Especially if you're walking through Manchester, how busy it is. There's about 400 different aftershaves you're going to walk past, all our perfumes. And we've got to help them to get to that point where they're comfortable.
So purposely you could have a different smelling incense in order to help them grow.
Yeah, because it will help them grow, because they'll smell it at some point in their life.
Right.
Might not always be in a barbershop or whatever, but 9 times out of 10 they'll walk past an artisan market and smell incense. And they'll wonder what that smell is. And it's like, all right, well, it's not a bad smell, it's just what they're burning. It's just what brings them comfort for that person. And some like incense, for example, some like the oils and whatever, and like it calms them. And I'll get knowledge off my missus for what's best for that. If we're using a aroma diffuser in the shop, you know, if the one's like really anxious, like, well, what should I use in the shop, love? Because I've got a really anxious customer, because every customer will probably have a pre-consultation before they come to me, so I know what I'm walking into.
Right.
Because the parents don't know either, because it's a new experience then, but they'll say, well, I've been to a barbershop and they screen the shop down. But why have they screened the shop down? This is what we've got to get back into. Is it just fear, or is it sensory, or is it something else? And we've got to pinpoint that little thing and build a little plan with a mum and dad and go, right, this is what it is, this is what you need to do at home, and this is what I'm going to do. And we're all going to do this together, and we're going to help that child one day get that chair and make him comfortable in getting a haircut, or she, because I do girls as well, get comfortable in that setting without any fear or anxiety. And yeah, they're going to have off days. Me and you have off days. We wake up and we're grumpy and we've had enough, and we just want to lock ourselves away and scream, and we don't want to be touched or mithered or whatever. And we're all going to have them off days. But theirs is more exuberated because of the autism or the ADHD or the Fragile X syndrome or the fecal alcoholism syndrome. It's going to freak them out. But I'm just trying to help them to get a comfortable place. Even on the off days, we get like one piece off on that off day, even though they've done so well for these 10 visits, and they have one off day. Don't be disheartened because they can have them. The weather can do it. I've had it. Well, the weather's just set them off. When we had that heat spell last year, we were a nightmare. Because all my good ones, I said good ones, who had sat in the chair and all the rest of it, had full-on meltdowns in shop. Because I've just given them a whole new sensation of her sticking to them because of sweating.
Whoa.
And I couldn't predict that. I've got so far now, I'm greening her, we're using clippers, we're doing everything, which is a massive achievement for someone who has sensory with clippers. And then next minute, her sticks to them because they're sweating. And it's like, bang, gone. Right, Craig's done all this to me, I trust him, but what's this new sensation he's given me? Why have you given me this sensation? I trust you. I've never had this before. So you've just changed the whole haircut dynamic. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, what's causing this meltdown? I can't even cut his hair today, what's going on? And I thought, it's the heat. So the hair sticking to him, it's a whole new sensation. Hair being stuck to him. Like if it's dry, you just brush it off, don't you? But if it's stuck to him,
yeah,
you're going to have to use talcum powder. That's a whole new smell as well. So you've got loads of different factors. You've got to think about 24/7, how it's all going to change everything. They could have had a bump outside shop. They could have had a bad day at school. That can change everything. They've had a bad day at work. That can change it all. Because they're still not processed what's literally just happened. And me being in those spaces, like, I've had enough. I don't want to deal with you today. It's crazy. It's the most craziest thing I've walked into, but I love it. And I love helping these families and making this difference to people.
The one where when it sticks, and what is that then? So it's just a total new sensation that they've never felt before.
Yeah, pretty much what it is.
Right. And yeah, it's so hard for you to wrap your head around.
It is, even if the water spray is malfunctioning.
If it sprays differently.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it could be spraying as normal, and it could be like have a leak in the pipe, so it drips instead of it just sprays and drips. That could change it because they're so used to that sensation they're getting when we got to the point of using water sprays. And you're thinking, what the hell's causing this?
Right.
All these little things, and you go, all right, that.
Do people come down and you never cut hair for quite a while?
Yeah, we get a few.
So you just they're just going through the motions, getting to the chair.
We just talk to the parents and explain what's happening and what I think's happening.
Yeah. And
that reassures them because before they've not had that education. They've been told your kid's a brat or he's a demon, go and get him exercised. These are things I hear.
Naughty kids.
Naughty kids. I've had kids with bruised temples where the barber's held the hair that strong, they've got bruising in their temples.
Really?
Yeah, they've been hit with a comb or sprayed with a water spray on purpose. Or they've been pinned down. One of them, he was pinned down by 4 barbers. One of my first. And I'm like, that's horrific. And he bit me. First thing he did. And I'm like, no wonder his buddy bit me. Because he's associating haircuts with fear. And the only way he's going to get out of this situation if he does the worst thing possible to the barber. So he bit me. And you can't react. And that's the hardest thing about doing this, is you can't react to any physical violence. Because they know how to get out of it then. And they know how to back down. Like I've got a kid one at schools we go to, he nips me inside my forearm, like up here. And it's like, I want to slap you, this really hurts. This really, really hurts, but I can't do anything about it. And afterwards it's something, I mean, big massive internal screams.
Right.
But you can't react because they know they've won then. And that's what they do to get out of the situation. Well, why would I get out of the situation? This is what I'll do. Because I'm in full fight and flight response. And they're up there, like full up there. There's no getting them out of it. But we just give them time to come out of it. Because the parents know how to regulate them. I don't. I can regulate my own children. Well, I try to, but they're getting older now. So they regulate themselves now by locking themselves in the room or having a good scream or doing what they need to do. And just relaxing or sitting cuddling the dog. So if the parents can help them come through a meltdown, meltdowns are completely different to kicking off.
What do you mean by that? Explain that for me.
So meltdown is where they go into their own head.
Right.
And they get physically overwhelmed by everything, what's going on, by all senses, and they're going full and shut down. If kids being naughty, they're being naughty. There's a complete polar opposite.
Right.
You can tell when they're being naughty and just acting out, like just throwing stuff at you and all the rest of it. That's just being naughty. And I'll tell that to the parents, they're just being naughty, they're not having a meltdown. If they're having a meltdown, they don't want to do anything. They'll be screaming, bashing their head off the wall because they can't cope with the noise, or just like this, you know, hands on their ears because they can't deal with the noise or whatever. That's a meltdown. And this is where most people get mistaken between meltdowns and a kid having a tantrum. And it happens in supermarkets. We see kids, because some kids might be autistic in a supermarket and can't deal with the lighting or the smell of a certain aisle. And people are looking at this kid going, oh, control your kid. And that moment you can't get them out of it because you've got to slowly coach them out of it. But if a kid's being a brat on the floor throwing a pad because you've not got him a Mars bar,
yeah,
it's different. He's just being a pain in the arse basically because you've not given what he wanted. But a meltdown's completely different. And this is what we've got to differentiate if they're being naughty or having a meltdown as well. Like some parents will bring the kids and the kid's just a brat.
Yeah.
And said, they're not autistic, they're not ADHD, they're just a brat. And you've got to tell parents this. And said you need to be a bit firmer with them.
How do you know the difference, Craig?
You could tell the way they act and the way they behave, yeah. If they're just throwing things around my shop and not the rest of it, I'm like, you're just being a brat now, aren't you?
Right.
You're just basically being a brat. As horrible as it is.
But do these parents who they actually think there's something wrong with the kids?
Sometimes, yeah. But most of the time when they don't get a diagnosis later on in life, I'm like, why has he not got one? You just need to give them boundaries. Even autistic people need boundaries if they're misbehaving. Even anyone with a disability needs boundaries. Everyone needs boundaries. We all need boundaries. Yeah. Me and you need boundaries. Yeah. We need routine. We need structure. It makes life so much better. So you've got to give everyone like the structure and the routine what they need. And if they're having a meltdown, he'll probably be headbutting the floor if he comes into the shop because he can't deal with the noise, what's going on, and he wants to get it out of his head because it's so overwhelming. It's like exuberated to a whole new level. In our head, it's volume 5, in their head, it's a volume 100. And it feels like a massive headache. That's what it'll probably feel like from I don't know because I don't experience them. But from what I've read and studies I've read, that's what it feels like. So it's just getting understanding of all that as well. There's so much to it. It's unbelievable.
Have you just found your calling without you knowing the calling?
Pretty much that's what's happened, yeah. Just
the universe has led you down this, Craig, this is your purpose.
My missus is fairy godmother, she calls her.
Yeah.
It's like her mum's best friend. She does all this Reiki. And I had Reiki one day. This is when I first got with her and stuff like that. Pretty about 2 years in. And she had it as well. And she said to me, you're going to work with kids. And at this point in my career, I was ready for coming out of the industry. This is when I fell out with hairdressing. And I thought, I'll go and read at a school, like it must be that. Or go and be a teacher. I'm going to retrain as a teacher. I've had enough of the industry. I'm going to be a teacher. And then all this started happening. I'm like, that's what Izzy meant. Just put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, that's what she meant all that time ago. Like working with kids. Like, what am I doing with kids? I'm going to be a teacher. I'm going to be a primary school teacher. Like went into kids' primary school doing reading days, reading to the kids. I'm like, what is it? And it must be this.
It is this.
And it is this because it's winning awards. It's getting recognised in the industry now. I'm the point of contact in the industry. It's getting bigger and bigger in the industry because of me. And I'm making waves in the industry. Because they always say, well, why haven't you called yourself the neurodivergent hairdresser? I said, well, it doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? And it won't look right on branding. Like the whole reason behind the branding is a hair stand with the neurodivergent colours. So I'm like, all right, okay, that works. Just playing around with myself and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And that's where the idea comes from. I thought, let's do it Neurodivergent Barber. It's got a bit more of a ring to it. And that's how all that come about. So it's interesting. It really is a mad wave at the minute. It really is a mad wave where it's going.
Are you that proud of yourself? Did you give yourself that moment?
2 years ago, it took me a while to understand it. When I won the NHS award, I had full-on imposter syndrome for 12 months. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I being recognised by the NHS? Because I remember the award ceremony, and Andy Burnham did a talk. And he said, right, I'd like to thank all the caregivers, the doctors, the surgeons in here, all this amazing work you're doing you've done during COVID. Oh, we've got a barber. And the whole room went silent. You could hear a pin drop. I'm like, what the? I'm like,
who is it?
Me and Mrs. just looked at each other and went, we're not meant to be here, are we? We're just not meant to be here. And like, we're reading nominations out for this category, this community champions category. And like, some woman who set up a dementia cafe in Oldham, helping all these people with dementia, some care worker who gives off his days off to work in different care homes to help out. I'm like, I'm not going to win this. Not a chance. And the next minute, I got called out. The whole room, all I remember, everything went silent. And it was like a scene at a fight club. Everything just went in full slow motion. I didn't even know what had just happened. It was just surreal. I was like, what the hell has just happened here? I won that, and I'm like, why have I won that? And the whole 12 months it took me to come to terms with it. And then when the Bolton NHS board got in touch with me and said, right, we're doing these leaflets now, can you send you information? I'm like, what are you on about? And then just remembering conversations on the evening. I'm like, no, like, this is not right. I don't deserve this. I'm not an NHS worker. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a surgeon. I'm just a barber. I'm doing, like, walking around the room that night and like listening to people who say, oh, I've just done surgery an hour ago, or save some kid's life. I did 2 back insides an hour ago in a small little barbershop in Bolton. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, we sorted this compliance plan out for this care home. We're going to do all this in this care home. I'm like, I'm used to walking into her industry awards and her trade show, speaking all about her all day long. I'm like, I don't understand this. I just really don't understand what's going on. So I won that, and then I won the best local salon, and that threw me off completely even more. I was like, how? Like, I was up against a Tony and Guy, I was up against massive salons, like massive multi-brand salons. And then I won it, I'm like, what the hell's happening? What is happening?
And what was happening, Craig?
I don't know.
Looking back now, mate, what do you think was happening?
People are understanding what I do and appreciating what I do.
It's not what you do though, it's about who you are.
Yeah, and who I'm becoming, and who I am and what I can offer.
Yeah.
And knowing that people in the industry are still shying away from it to this day and refuse to tackle it.
Must be brutal, mate.
It is brutal.
There's no way I could do it.
Oh.
No way I could do it.
The bites were the worst. The punch, I've had broken ribs, I've had all sorts, I've had it all at me. But,
what service you're giving, mate.
I love it. I love it.
For the families, as well as the kids and stuff.
Exactly.
Jeez.
It's life-changing for them.
Life-changing.
Because they can feel like they've had a haircut and they can look tired.
Yeah.
It might not be the best haircut in the world,
Yeah.
but they've had a haircut and they can feel like they've had a haircut, and their parents they can walk around with not having a shaved head or long hair because they've done it at home, or they've done it while asleep, or they like try cutting around their ears or cutting the fringes like this. And I go in and cut it and make them like, and parents like, oh, my son's had his haircut, and it feels good.
Yeah,
because he's fitting in a bit more.
That experience, I've had a normal experience, whatever that is.
Exactly.
Like,
big emphasised quoted bunny of it all.
Yeah.
But I'm just making it just a nice experience for them, and that's all I can do.
Has it sunk in now then?
Well, it sunk in. It finally sunk in. It took a while, but it sunk in. And I realised, that's when I realised it's more than cutting hair.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with anything that's beautiful, mate, and it's in a flow state, that it's never planned. And the things are never planned, you never actually stop and think.
No.
Things just happen, these moments, and you just think, what have I got here?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what's it? Which is amazing.
It is.
It's amazing.
But I love it. Absolutely love it. I won't change it for the world. I'll never stop it. Even if I'm broken, I'll still keep on going. I don't know how I keep on going, but I do. Like, for example, I've just done bloody Morecambe 10k and Bolton Ironman 10k full of sinusitis and chest infection.
Have you?
Yeah. And that didn't stop me. I've come in work with a crippled back, and I've still bent all over and contortioned myself to help cut these kids' hair. And Mrs. Forever said, you need a rest. You need to rest.
How do you do that? How do you rest?
Well, now I found enjoyment in running again.
Yeah.
I started running 5 months ago.
You're still doing something though, Craig, when you're running?
Yeah, but it's switching off.
Right.
That's what I mean. It clears my head.
Okay.
That's what I enjoy about it. And like the ice baths, I do ice baths.
Yeah.
And things like that. It's just nice. Just them little things. Even though it's a lot for most people, for me, it's a switch off. Running 18k and not even thinking when I'm running is amazing. Like some days I'll just run until I stop. I still remember I did one. I did 18k. I just ran. Just kept running and literally stopped outside here actually. And I'm thinking, I'm done now, let's go home. I've got a new bro home.
What, like Forrest Gump?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I usually do. But I want to do like marathons now and give back to these like amazing charities like National Autistic Society. Like these 10Ks, I do them for fun now. And I thought, right, and everyone's asking me, how many customers asking me, going, why don't you do it for charities? Because it's not an achievement. If I did London Marathon, yeah, I'd do it for charity. Because that's so far out of my comfort zone. Even these organised events are at my comfort zone. I push myself to do them because it's been around a lot of people and I'm like, I can't be bloody arsed with this. Why am I even doing this? Even the Morecambe one, that nearly shook me completely because that were horrible, that were brutal.
Right.
Because it was just windy, rain, or being blasted with sand. And I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Why am I doing this? And then I did the Bolton one and that were a better atmosphere. And nothing beats that feeling when you run through that archway, that Ironman archway at the end, when they call your name out. And that's what went, I like that. So I've got another one now in August with a York one, where I'm taking Mrs. away with my daughter. My son's staying at home because he can't handle it. But I'm taking her to her biggest wholesalers, whatever crystal wholesaler she goes to. So it's that both for us. It's going to be a really nice weekend away.
Could you give your missus a shout out, mate? I feel like I want to give her a missus a shout out.
Well,
What's the website?
So she's Pixie Crystals.
Yeah.
So pixieandcrystals.co.uk.
Yeah.
So all crystal jewellery handmade, and like she does incense, all that sort of home fragrance side of thing, and she sells crystals as well. So it's proper like crystal healing and just all like love jewellery made with love. And like she'll hand pick each crystal so she knows what energy it's giving off, and she makes sure it's right for the customer, even if it's with sterling silver or just like copper plated wire.
Yeah.
It's all, each individual piece is for that person. It finds a home for that person. And she always says that when she sells a piece. So that's going to the right person.
What's she called?
Sarah Timmins.
Sarah, if you're watching this, I want to buy a crystal from you. Feel me energy, get me a crystal, I'll buy it from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just nice that she wants them to go to the right place.
Amazing, mate. So mum was a witch and she's a witch. Are we saying that?
Yeah.
We're all right with saying that, aren't we?
Yeah, it is. And she's proud of it. She's proud of being spiritual, and she's proud of her roots.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we can carry on her mum's legacy, like I'd like to say it is.
She must be really proud of you, mate, seeing you, like, because I know you're saying you're not spiritual, mate, but...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, like, you've, like,
Something's...
one of the biggest spiritual people that I've met.
Yeah.
The way you're dealing with these kids and stuff is... It's on another level, that how you're communicating with them. Yeah. Frequency, energy.
Oh, it has to be.
I've done it.
Yeah. I'm still doing it.
That's an energy healer, mate.
Yeah, trying my best. I'm trying my best. I just need to slow down a bit so we can make a bit more family time. Yeah,
that's the thing with me. I think when I set my business, I think it was 10 years before I took an holiday.
Yeah.
And because I've been doing all the time.
Yeah.
It just burns you out a bit. Yeah. Where you've got to move into that being a little bit and, you know, sitting on the sofa for 5 minutes. A day or something.
Yeah, exactly. And businesses don't stop. Yeah. Anyone knows that who's got a business. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It might, like, a lot of people talk to me and say, you're looking at your hair all day long. There can't be that much to it. I said, but there is more to it. To get to where I am, there is more to it. If it is just liaising with families, doing award entries, just so I can push it as far as I can push it, so I can get more barbers and hairdressers doing what I do.
Yeah.
Just so I can have some more free time. Because I can't physically do all these kids, all these adults. So if more hairdressers and barbers did it, my life would be easier.
So what are you doing then, mate? You're putting on an academy or something?
That's what I've an online workshop.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working towards and building. It keeps tweaking it because I've got to make it so they can understand it.
Yeah. Because
you can't have it too technological heavy.
Yeah.
Because instead of using neurodivergent, people always ask me what's a neurodivergent.
Yeah.
It's a person with a neurological disability. What's that? I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm breaking it down so a 7-year-old can understand it. And that's what I always got taught by people in the industry. If you're going to do a presentation, target it at a 7-year-old because they'll digest it better. With any industry, like your industry, make sure it's aimed at a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a presentation.
Yeah.
Because then they'll absorb it better.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. That's what we say.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm learning, trying to do that, and this is why I keep revising it so many times, because I run off of myself because I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah.
And it gets very technological, like mentioning these other things that they've never heard of, like Fragile X and fecal alcohol syndrome, and then for dyslexia in there, like, that's not a disability. It is a disability. Because they can't read, if you give them a centre of appointment reminder and they can't read it, are they going to turn up? Yeah. So what we've got to do, ring them to make sure they come in. Or dyslexia, where they struggle with maths. You give them the change if they pay cash. Like, how do they know they've got the right change? You know, there's little things like that, but people don't think about when they come to a shop. We just take it for granted. Because we don't know what's going on in there. We just see the face and the hair. Or you just see the person in front of you. You don't know what disability they've got, and sometimes they won't know if they've got dyslexia or dyspraxia or whatever, or autism or ADHD. Because people go years along the line before they get diagnosed. So all these little things, you've got to accommodate for in a customer service facing role. And this is what I'm going to help educate, and then educate about the cutting the hair side, like what skills do you need to provide that? Because it's not taught, in the industry. The industry's getting sloppy because it's getting convenient, because we want convenient haircuts.
Yeah,
we want amazing haircuts, but we want a convenience.
Yeah.
Everyone wants skin fades and fades, but where's your scissor dynamics? Where's your scissor work?
Yeah.
Where's your foundation? Back in the 80s, that's all it were. Everything was scissors.
Yeah.
I was lucky when I first started training, the guy I learned off was very scissor heavy, and everything was scissors. I weren't allowed to use clippers. And like, I go in college, use clippers, and then in salon, when I was doing my apprenticeship, it was all scissor work only. And I hated him at the time. I detested him because I had to do flat tops with scissors.
Oof.
Yeah, like, I'm going to kill you. I'm not doing it. You know, proper snotty teenager kicking off. I'm not doing that. I'm going to use my clippers. No, you're not. And I had to keep doing it repetitively.
What skill set that's taught you, huh?
And now it's the most fundamental skill I'll use when working with these kids. Doing a short back inside all with scissors. I can get it as about as close as a number one with scissors. And that's all thanks to him. And I still remember the first day he gave me a pair of clippers, it was like 39 steps. Because I'd done it that long with scissors. And then this guy comes in for 2 back insides. I did it was like wedges everywhere. I'm like, what the hell's just happened? If I did it with scissors, it would be perfect. But I'm like, what's going on? And so I looked at clippers, I'm like, looking at it, wrecking my brain going, and I noticed the numbers on the back. Because they have it in millimetres. Right, well, my corn's about 5 mil thick. Right, so that's number 2. Right, that's 6 mil. Right, I know what I'm doing now. And that's what clicked it in. Because I started working in the mills and understanding, and that's changed my whole dynamic of her then completely. And then I started understanding the angles on top more from doing the flat top, because every haircut's a box. Regardless what haircut you have, it's a box. So if I can work from that and create a cool haircut, because it's all going to fall that way anyway, because everyone's haircut's the same. Every short back and sides is the same. Your haircut's the same. It might look different, but the way I cut it's going to be exactly the same, but the way you dress it afterwards is completely different. Yeah, we might add some unique twists to it, where we had a bit of texture, or we had this, or we had that. But every haircut's got the same foundation.
I need to get my head over you, mate. We've had this conversation before, haven't
we? Tried, didn't we?
I know we've tried. I don't know why.
I'm just too busy. We're both just too busy, aren't we?
No. It's mainly you, mate, to be honest. You're not
Exactly.
busy. I'm buzzing for you, Craig. Honestly, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing for you. I'm glad it's sunk in for you, that you do realise who you are and why you're doing it. It's, yeah, I'm really grateful to have you here, mate, and help you spread this message. Yeah.
This is why I do
what's your thing then? Are you going to get a bigger shop? Have you got anything like that? Or are you just in total flow state and you're just going to go with it?
I'm just going to flow with it.
Right, sweet.
Because if I force it, I'll get stressed, and I don't do stress.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate stress.
Yeah.
Because it's not good for anybody.
Yeah, agreed.
And doing the shop up, that were enough stress on its own.
Yeah.
Having a month to do a full shop refit, that was hard work. Living on Red Bulls, which I don't drink anyway. I think I'm through 3 cans of Monster a day.
You on Red Bulls, Jesus Christ.
God, exactly. Like I have shipment off bloody over the hedge. But like in between customers going over, sanding walls, bloody painting walls, bloody letting deliveries in while cutting all these kids out, running back, working till midnight, come back again, going first thing in the morning, and like it proper threw me. And I'm paying for it now, still. Because it proper battered me. Even it's just going to the dentist because I had teeth taken out because I destroyed myself with all these Red Bulls.
Yeah.
I'm still paying for it, but that was a stressful moment in my life because I needed somewhere for these kids. Because I got evicted from the other one because he was selling the property. I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't give this up. These kids need this space. And I'm looking all over Bolton, like business rates, rents were just obscene. I'm like, I can't make it pay because I don't do it for profit. I'll charge you as I charge the kids. I charge by time. So if you have a 45-minute appointment, Tim, the kid who has 45 minutes gets charged exactly the same. So why should they be charged any different for a disability? No one should. And some people do it. You've probably seen it on social media a while ago. A barber charged 20 odd quid for saying disability haircut. It's her. The her's not got the disability. It's the person who's got the disability, not the her. This is why the whole gender stuff winds me up. Yeah. Because I can cut both. But why are you charging more? Because it's a lady coming to a barbershop. It's still bloody her. It makes no bloody difference. It grows the same. Yeah, it might need a different finish because you want it more softer. You don't want it as textured and choppy and messy. But they might want that. But generally, with the fun, most ladies want it soft and flowing, don't they? So that annoys me as well about it all. But I just want to have a place where people just feel appreciated for being a human.
Oof.
Not a gender or a disability or whatever, they're human. And that's why it says on my website, haircut and barbering for fantastic humans. It's not the gender or disability, it's for human. Because we're all human. We all bleed red inside, no matter who we are and what disabilities we've got or what gender we are.
It's a good fucking vision, that, mate. Isn't it?
Yeah. And if it grows into something massive, it grows into something massive. If it doesn't, if it stays where it is, it stays where it is. But I'll just keep raising awareness and keep plugging on and keep annoying the industry to high heaven. Because I'm the person who's willing to step out that comfort zone to help these kids. And because you don't want to do it that one day because you're in a bad mood. Or it's not going to constrict your time frame. Because you won't give that extra 15 minutes. Or that extra half an hour. Because they're struggling or coming in early for them because they're better in the time and they're better in the morning or they're better in the evening, so you're working an extra half an hour. Or they've got social anxiety, so no one can be in the shop, so you're opening your shop early or you're working late. Because that's a disability. Anxiety is a disability. It's debilitating for some people. So I've got a few who come in after hours because they can't deal with people in the shop. And my lad who works with me, Scott, he understands that, so he makes sure he's finished on time. And I'll cut someone's out at 6 o'clock instead, just so they're comfortable.
Next level, mate, aren't you?
I try to be.
You are.
I'm just me. Like I say all the time, I'm just me.
If somebody wants to learn about you more, mate, how do they find you? You're on TikTok, aren't you?
TikTok Craig's Barbershop.
Yeah.
So that was more prominent than the Neurodivergent Barber one. The Neurodivergent Barber on Instagram, that's probably where I post a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of educational stuff, a lot of awareness and what to do to help. And then there's the Craig's Barbershop Bolton, which is a shop page, which I'm a bit sloppy with at the minute, unfortunately. And that's about it, really.
What website? What's your website?
So I've got craigsbarbershop.co.uk, so you'll probably see every single press release I've done, which is, there's some big ones in there. And then there's the neurodivergentbarber.com, which is building now, which is built, and I'm working on it to get it better and up there in the SEO world. And it took me a lot to get the barbershop one there. Now I'm doing the same with the other one now. So it's good fun. But everything's there. You can read my articles, you can read what I've done, listen to podcasts, listen to it all, just see all the stuff I do, and just see some of the pictures of me working with the kids, and you'll see what I do. Even the videos on Instagram and TikTok, they're like blown away. Some people are just blown away by them, like watching them, and it brings them warmth. Sometimes, like I said, some family traveling over from Vanessa have seen one of my TikTok videos, and now people are just fighting to get in. Like I remember opening my diary on 1st of December this year, and every single Saturday appointment went for the whole year. Within 5 minutes.
Wow.
I'm like, this
Yeah.
is mental.
It's
pretty frightening. I just dread every single half term, every 6-week holidays, because I know what's going to happen. It's like a stampede. I have to book my holidays like 2 years in advance or a year in advance just so I actually get some time off. And like provisionally book dates in my diary just in case I get approached. Like with the Sound International I'm going to this year and the Sen show and all these shows I go to, I've got to provisionally book them in my diary just in case they reach out. And each one's reached out this year because of the way it's going. So I'm like, I've had 2 Saturdays off this year, which has never happened ever in my entire career. In 25 years, I've never had a Saturday off. And it's like, what am I doing? Just travelling down on train thinking, why have I got a Saturday off work? What am I doing? Busiest bloody day, Craig. What are you playing at? That could have been used, that. But no, and then I think, oh, I'm doing a good thing. I'm raising awareness, so I'm doing a good thing off the back of it. So one day is not going to make any difference because I'm always busy anyway. Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Most barbers are sat around on their arse most of the time on a Tuesday when they see my hairdressers on a Tuesday because they're all coming in at the weekend. I'm just full. We're varying at clients from neurodivergence to neurotypicals. And I'm thinking, do these people actually work? Why am I so busy? You're thinking, well, they must be working from home and just rationalising things in my head all the time. It's just crazy. The world's crazy. My life's crazy.
It's amazing, mate. You are one fantastic human being. You're the person that you are on your website, mate.
Yeah.
Should be very proud of yourself, and I'm sure you are. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Goodbye.